Whoa, what up, ladies and gentlemen? So, welcome to our second episode of our 7th Lord House series. And today we're going to be covering 7th Lord in the 2nd house. And what happens when the planet that controls your 7th house is sitting in the 2nd house? What does that mean? As always, if you do not know where your 7th Lord is placed and where all of your other planetary placements are, conjunction, aspects, divisional charts, your dashas, for that, check out the links here. And check out my book, Astrology, Conjunction, and Aspects of the Speed of Light, including your full astrological and numerological report. So, let's get started. 7th Lord in the 2nd house. What is 7th house? 7th house represents marriage, legal partnerships, business partnerships. It represents other people that you interact with besides your home and family. It represents business, doing trade, and, it represents masses. Hordes of people, masses of people, like you can rule, pretty much like an actor, or fame is seen through the 7th house. So what happens when this planet who's controlling in this particular house in your horoscope is sitting in the 2nd house of possessions, what you value, your money, your assets, savings, family history, family lineage, family business, your your voice, the way you speak to people, all of these things are represented by the 2nd house. So when 7th Lord goes into the 2nd house, what this shows is that you are going to feel more valuable when you're in a partnership. You will feel that you have a lot more value when you get married to the opposite sex or same sex nowadays. You feel that the person who you marry, they must add value to you. They must add some assets to you. And what this also shows is that because it represents your pretty much marriage, it shows that your legal partner or your husband or wife are pretty much going to be involved with your family business, with your family. Meaning 2nd house is your family, okay? 8th house is your spouse's family. But because 7th Lord is in the 2nd house, shows your spouse will be more attached and attracted to your family more than her own family. It also shows that your marriage will be more dependent upon the business aspect and the money and assets aspects more than just love and romance. Meaning that these are the people who want to marry somebody who can add more savings to their account, bring more value, wealth, jewelry to them. And that's what this is. And it shows that whoever you have a business partnership with, whoever you have a legal business partnership with, must become part of your family. They must treat you like their family. Because of the fact they're adding, the 2nd house is, it's family first thing. More than just the money and, money and the assets aspect, it's a family. So you want somebody who can be like a family to you, so you can trust them. You can, do business with them knowing that they're like your family, okay? And that's what it really represents in a nutshell. Now, obviously, depending upon what planet controls the 7th house and sits in the 2nd house, will differentiate the meaning, will differentiate its quality. So let's discuss that. Well, so let's see if Sun controls your 7th house and Sun goes into the 2nd house. What this shows is that your spouse, your marriage partner, will pretty much become an authoritative figure in your family. Let's say you get married to your wife, and there is a position in a family or a situation in a family where somebody just needs to take a lead role. Somebody needs to sit on the throne and say, look, this is what we're going to do. And so what happens is these kind of people will attract those kind of spouse. They will attract very confident, very egoistic spouse who are able to handle the affairs of the family and take a lead role in it. And it also shows that your spouse will bring a lot of wealth in terms of through government, through authoritative figures, meaning that they know authoritative figures and through that you gain. And there's also ability to accumulate a lot of gold. Because Sun and Jupiter are kind of both represent gold. Jupiter represents gold in a long term. where Sun represents gold in a short-term basis. Like Sun When it's debilitated, the gold prices go down. When it's exalted, the gold prices goes up. Where the real up and down of a gold value is seen from Jupiter, because Jupiter stays in one sign for a whole year. So it might keep going up for the 4 or 5 years, then goes down a little bit or goes up, so it all depends on Jupiter. But here shows that you may actually get somebody where your possessions regarding gold, copper, things related to sun will increase. Okay, and it also shows that your personality, your ego will also find a boost. Why? Because sun is your ego, sun is your self-esteem. So your self-esteem depends upon your partner, and they're going to add to your self-esteem when you get married with them. Let's say moon controls the 7th house. Moon goes into the 2nd house, shows that your wife or your husband or your business partner, mainly spouse, will become this emotional nurturing figure in the family. Yet at the same time, it shows that your spouse could be in a scientific field. And being in a scientific field, very scientific mind, she adds the value of knowledge into you, value of perhaps even money through their scientific background. It shows that you attract a lot of motherly type figures in your life who add value to you. Your ability to emotionally connect to other people only comes when you get married, because of the fact it's only going to get activated when a legal partnership is formed. See, that's one thing you got to realize. Anything before marriage is not validated with this position. Once you have the legal partnership done, once you have the legalities of a partnership, whether it's a business, LLC, corporation, or a husband and wife, only then certain planets do activate themselves, or all the planets. So your ability to emotionally connect to your family will increase with your spouse. And it also shows that you will run into a lot of emotional people who will kind of increase your logical and analytical mind. Your logical and analytical and scientific thinking will increase by the more you interact with other people. Let's say Mercury controls your 7th house. And Mercury goes into the 2nd house, shows that you're going to attract a spouse, business partnerships, and interaction with other people who are very business minded, very logical, analytical thinkers, very communicative, and they're very motivating to you. They're the ones who say, let's go, let's push it. You want to do this business? Let's do this business. So they are very motivating type people. And because Mercury represents numbers and business mainly, and communication, shows you value communication more. You become more verbal with this position after you get married. After you have a joint partnership with someone, you will become more vocal. You will become more motivated to do business. And remember, because 2nd house is value, 2nd house is your money, and 7th house is business, shows that somebody who will gain their assets through business. So that's something I forgot to mention in the early on stage, is that through business you will create your assets. So these are the alignments when I do my career consultation, is when I'm seeing some of these alignments. There's 5, 7 or 8 different alignments for businesses, and that's what I see. Let's say if Venus controls the 7th house, goes into the 2nd house, shows that your interaction with other people, your interaction with your spouse will increase the way you think of love and relationships. Your ability to form relationships finds its value after marriage. And this doesn't mean just romantic relationships with all aspects of life, because that's what Venus is just pure love and relationships. But yes, it's mainly romantic relationships, not more so relationships between a mother and a son, but it has that glue of relationships in it. And it also shows that you will get more possessions, a lot of assets, your ability to feel beautiful and feel that you're worth something will increase from your partner. Your partner will be very beautiful and they will make you feel beautiful. Why? Because 2nd house also represents the face. And here Venus can add on to your beauty, and they will bring more beauty to your family. Your family will be known because of your spouse. Oh my God, they have a beautiful spouse. Oh my God, the whole family is beautiful. And Venus usually represents currency, so liquid money can be seen here with the partnership. A lot of money through business, through female products, a lot of money through artistic talent. Your wife or your spouse, your business partner will have a very artistic ability to themselves. Let's say if Mars controls your 7th house, goes into the 2nd house. What this shows is that your partner, your life partner, your legal partner may actually create power struggles in the family, may actually create power struggles between you and your family. You know how you run into husbands and wives and spouses who come into your life, and suddenly now you end up starting to fighting your mom and dad and sister because your wife said or husband said, you know what, they said that to me, I can't believe they said that, and now you're trying to defend them. So now you're getting into these power struggles, saying that, hey, why did you say this? Why did you say that? So there's a lot of power struggle, and at the same time, it shows that you're going to get a spouse with a strong will. You're going to get a spouse or a business partner and interaction with other people who have this really soldier-like mentality. They're like, you know what? I'm not here to cry. I'm not here to cry with you. I'm not here to, be your mother. I'm here to be your partner who needs to go out and fight the war and win the war of money and assets and possession. Like here, it shows that the spouse will add this strength to you. In a bad way, yes, there could be conflicts in the family. In a good way, your spouse will add strength to you. Your spouse will say, look, I know you are not able to do this, but you know what? With my help, we will do this. With my help, we will be able to shatter all your enemies, shatter all your debts, shatter all the obstacles, and we will win. We will get the money we want. We will have the savings that we want. All the desired things that we want will come through this. And especially with this, land becomes a very strong thing. Like your spouse can add on to land. After you get married, perhaps you bought a house with your spouse. Why? Because Mars is a significator of land, real estate in Vedic astrology. Okay? Let's say Jupiter controls your 7th house. And Jupiter goes into the 2nd house, shows that your spouse will bring a lot of spiritual and religious knowledge into the family. Will bring a lot of money and finance into the family. Will bring a lot of hope into the family. Jupiter is hope in a way. Jupiter is morals. Your spouse will have high morals. Your spouse will actually have a natural class, enjoyable ability of having the talent of natural music and dance. They might be in a creative field. Your spouse might be an actor. Your spouse might be a singer. But at the same time, your spouse can also be a lawyer. And your spouse will show in the family how to live a proper life. Because Jupiter is the one who writes the law. He says, this is what a human needs to do. And that's why religious books are signified by Jupiter. Spiritual books are signified by Jupiter. Why? Because it's the law written. Like in Islam, it says you can't do this and this. In Hinduism, it says you can't do this and this. Somebody wrote that as the law, whether they were getting a signal through divine thing or not. It is Jupiter. Okay. So yeah, you may get a very conservative spouse or somebody who's open enough, but yet at the same time spiritual. Yet they will add a lot of knowledge into your family. The value that they will bring to you is going to be of pure knowledge. Let's say Saturn controls the 7th house, goes into the 2nd house. What this shows is that your spouse comes from a family of hard workers. It shows your interaction with other people you interact with a lot of mature, older people who are very hard workers. Perhaps your wife came from a family of farmers, came from a family of merchants, came from a family of mechanics, machinists. And what she shows is that, look, you gotta work hard, you gotta be disciplined, you gotta save your assets in order to really enjoy life. And especially with Saturn, what you will notice is that especially if you get married or you have been married and you went into your 30s, suddenly you started gaining savings, suddenly you started gaining money. Why? Because here, wives or a husband brings stability. A business partnership will bring stability into the family. And you'll automatically somehow will start saving money. You'll become more prudent. You'll be like, okay, if I can save this much money and just spend this much money, I'll be happy. And somehow that starts happening. So the wife instills a lot of value in you regarding hard work. And at the same time, you will get married to somebody who might be older in age, might be older in thinking, might be older in their ability and like work ethics. Their ethics are very mature. Okay? And they bring this reality to you. They're like, look, I know you're trying to fantasize about all these big things. Yes, let's do it. But let's go out in the world and do it. Let me show you what it's like to actually take the first step in achieving your goals. So Saturn, like Mars is your action, but Saturn is that work, that locomotive that pushes everything. Mars is like the petroleum. Mars is like, okay, I got the gas, I got the energy. What do we do now with this energy? Saturn is like, all right, I got the ability to move. Let's move. That's when everything starts happening. Okay. So guys, this was my analysis of 7th Lord in the 2nd house. If you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you want to know where your 7th Lord is placed and your full astrological report with my books and all the details and goulash of astrology, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you next time with 7th Lord in the 3rd house. And yes, I know my Q&A session hasn't been on. It'll come back on. I'm finally getting my sleep now. Things are calming down, although they're not. Don't think they're not. They are. But they are starting to. So hopefully maybe next week I can bring back my Q&A. All right? See you later.